Good day, everyone. My name is Frederick Joshua C. Macalino, and today I would like to present digital signatures. And first, I would like everyone to be acquainted with what digital signatures are. And for that, I will be showing you a short yet very informative video regarding digital signature.
There are times when old-fashioned solutions don't meet our modern demands, like signing documents and contracts with a pen and paper. Today's digital world demands a more flexible and responsive solution, like digital signatures. Let's take Filippo, whose business partner is based abroad. Whenever they need to countersign documents in the course of their work, it can end up taking them weeks to get a deal done because of all the paperwork being physically sent back and forth. It's such a waste of time. Now, if Filippo and his business partner used digital signatures, they could close their deals in a matter of minutes, not weeks. They'd only need to select the document, right-click it, sign digitally using their secure PIN code, and then send it off by email. The process is completely paperless, and in the European Union, a digital signature is just as valid as one made with ink. But it gets even better. With the mobile ID, Filippo can sign documents, make bank transfers, and more, all from his mobile phone. Wherever he happens to be, and with whatever papers he needs to sign, whether they're for business or other legal purposes. Studies have shown that using a digital signature helps to save an equivalent of one whole working week per year for every working age adult. Just stop and think for a minute what you could do with a whole extra week of time. Or take the environment. If in a small country like Estonia, which is a pioneer in the technology of digital signatures, it's been found that a stack of paper as high as the Eiffel Tower could be saved every month. Imagine how much it could do to reduce the waste for other, larger European nations. Digital signatures benefit everyone, from common citizens and enterprises and all the way up through governments. It raises productivity and efficiency, helps to reduce our impact on the environment, and establishes a uniform digital market in Europe.
Now, going back, as seen from the video, a digital signature, as the name suggests, is a type of electronic signature that is used as a verification and authentication method that would be of equivalent value to a handwritten signature. This method is typically used for important and digital transactions that would require a verification or certification in order to avoid infringement and forgery between the parties involved. And these services are offered by a trust service provider who are responsible for providing keys and certification that serves as part of a digital signature that is unique to the sender, which would be then bound to a document to be sent out. Now, for its functions, a digital signature serves three main functions. One is authentication, and this gives the receiver assurance that the electronic document of any kind was sent by the sender themselves. Secondly is integrity. Integrity would mean that any electronic document that gives assurance that the electronic document was not tampered after sending. And lastly is non-repudiation. Now, this only means that the sender can't deny the fact that they sent the electronic document along with the digital signature. Now, a digital signature secures documents using a public key infrastructure, which means it employs an asymmetric encryption or a public key encryption. And as we've learned from previous topics, this would usually require a pair of keys, one being the private key, and the private key is kept safe and secure can only be used by the signer, and second is a public key, which is openly available to the public who wants to validate the signer's digital signature. Now, a digital signature works by hashing a document or a data, okay, hashing it through a hash algorithm. Now, a hash algorithm is purposed to convert any string of data into a hash or a digest, which are a string of numbers that are short and have a fixed length. The hash algorithm ensures that it is unlikely that a similar digest or hash will appear for a different string of data. Now, after hashing the document, the hash will then be encrypted using the signer's private key and then would be bound to the document. The hash being the encrypted hash, rather, being serving as the digital signature. Then the document will be sent. Now, once received, the receiver, in order to verify its authenticity and integrity, shall do two things. One is running the received document into the same hash algorithm, which then again will produce a hash. And secondly, they will decrypt the encrypted hash, which gives us another hash. Now, decrypting using the sender's public key would serve as the authenticity of the signature, and running it again in a hash algorithm should provide you with a hash that should be similar to the one you decrypted, and this would mean that the integrity of the document is safe, which means that it was not changed after sending during transit. And after you get matching hashes, you are sure that it is a valid document and valid signature. Now, after understanding how it works, let's see digital signatures in the context of the Philippines. Okay, so with the Electronic Commerce Act of 2000, or also known as the Republic Act number 8792, paved the way for e-commerce as it implemented rules and regulations that would acknowledge electronic contracting to be legally valid. Okay, this law mandates that electronic signatures, such as digital signatures, as having an equivalent value with paper-based handwritten signatures. And the Republic Act number 8792 defines electronic signatures as any distinctive mark, characteristic, and or sound in electronic form representing the identity of a person and attached to or logically associated with an electronic data message or electronic document, or any methodology or procedures employed or adopted by a person and executed or adopted by such person with the intention of authenticating or approving an electronic data message or electronic document. Now, what that basically means is that a digital, oh no, I'm sorry, an electronic signature would be any distinctive mark that would represent an identity of a person who signed that document, and then that document should be attached to that signature should be attached to any electronic data or electronic document, okay, that is signed and sent by the signer by the signer themselves. Now, in accordance with the Republic Act, a digital signature must meet the following. First is that the signature must comply with the E-Commerce Act definition of an electronic signature, which is the definition that I gave earlier, this one. Next is that there must be a specified form of signing that cannot be changed by the parties involved in the transaction. This only means that you must only use one form of signing for an appropriate document, and you cannot change this mode of signing during the whole transaction. Next is that the signing method must identify the party who wishes to be bound and indicate the access of that party to the electronic document required for its consent or approval by means of an electronic signature. Now, this only means that your digital signature must be traced back to you, as you're the one who is giving consent or approval by the means of an electronic signature. Next is, the method of signing must be sufficient and appropriate for the purpose of the generated electronic document. Now, this only means that the method of signing is sufficient and appropriate for the purpose of the generated document. This means that your signature must be sufficient in identifying you, the sender, and it must be appropriate for any type of electronic document that it was generated for. Next is, in order to proceed with a transaction, the party to be bound must have executed or given the electronic signature. Now, in order for you to proceed with a transaction, it just requires you to have sent an electronic signature or provided one that would authenticate that you would agree to the transaction you are involved in. And then lastly, the other party is approved and authorized to validate the electronic signature and to continue with the transaction authenticated by an electronic signature. This only means that you should allow the other party to validate your electronic signature in order for you to proceed with the transaction, should you choose to do so, that is authenticated by a proper electronic signature. And That will be all for my presentation. I would like to thank everyone who stayed through the entire presentation, and I hope that through this very short presentation that you were able to pick up on how digital signatures work and what are the processes that are involved in using one. For my reference list, here are my sources, and for the YouTube video that you watched earlier, I used this link. That would be all. Again, thank you very much. I am Frederick Joshua C. Macalino, and I wish you a good day.